Hey y'all, Natalie here, and I am so excited today because I'm kicking off a new series with my friend Kira, and we are calling it Dust Bunnies. And the idea is that we are going to dust off some old 6x6 paper pads or digital collections, or perhaps as the series goes, it might be other items, but we're going to dust them off out of our stash and use them to inspire a page. So I have chosen that fancy pants pad I showed you a minute ago called On Our Way, and it's super bright. And I'm going to do this photo of my husband and myself in our hot tub, and it has a lot of bright colors in it, and so I wanted it to be a really fun, bright layout. So I have this Catherine Pooler Autumn is Calling stamp set, and I have a Momenta feathers stamp set, and so I think that they go well together, and the Autumn is Calling stamps from Catherine Pooler are supposed to be leaves, but I think that they can go as feathers as well. A lot of them look very feather-like to me. So there I've used the colors in the collection as a guide on to which colors I wanted to stamp. And then I ran them all through my die cut machine, or I fussy cut some of the feather ones from Momenta because I don't have matching dies for those. And this is from my stash as well. It is from Sassafras, and it is as old as the hills. And I have used those letters so often, and I still have more, and I have what I needed. So I know it doesn't look great right there, but I am going to make it work by adding a black border around the Simple Stories hot word and adjusting that J to an I. So my title is going to be Hot and Lit because it's a hot tub, get it? So I pulled out some of my favorite bright colored papers from the pad to back my photo. Now this is a travel theme paper pad, but obviously we're not traveling. We're in our own backyard here in this photo. So I just wanted to use the pad as a starting point for the colors to inspire my page. And so, yeah, I like that a lot. And so I'm going to kind of just throw the feathers down where I'm thinking I want to have them on the page, and then I'll work on my background. So I'm going to do 2 clusters like that, and I use the same inks that I use to stamp the feathers to just make a lot of very colorful, very minuscule splatters. And I'm going to do them in the bottom right and the top left, and kind of have my title up there in the left and my photo cluster in the bottom right. And yeah, so I'm just making a few splatters. I'm so grateful that Kira wanted to do this series with me. She's making a comeback on her YouTube channel, which I'm super excited about. And I'm excited about this fun challenge that we're going to be doing every month. And she said she had a lot of digital collections that she kind of has been piling up. So I'm excited to see what she creates as well. So there I'm just using some black cardstock to back the hot word, and so it will match that black outline on those sassafras letters. And then I'm gonna edit that J into an I, and I just add a little bit of black paper down at the bottom, and then you can't even tell. Plus I add a lot of feathers around that and with the embellishing, so a little bit of cardstock is not going to be noticeable. So I'm going to put everything back on there, and I get ready to adhere things down, and I decide that I want to pop it up. Oh no, first I get out these little inflatables. These are 2 different sets that Amy Tangerine put out a while ago, and I really wanted to make them work because they're so cute, and like we're in a hot tub, like of course like an inflatable sounds like a good idea. But spoiler alert, I don't find a place to make those work. I'll just have to save them for another page, but I really wanted to make them work on this page. So there's where my title's going to go. And I'm just kind of like divvying up the colors of the feathers to just make sure they're kind of even amongst both of the clusters. Sorry, I'm trying to do my voiceover. My dog keeps interrupting. So then, because I have that black outline on the title, I'm going to add some black splatters as well. And then I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to ink up my papers with black as well, just to kind of make them pop off the page and to bring that little bit of black outline from the title down to the photo cluster. So now the black splatters, and they're bigger and bolder too, so I like that contrast. So now they're dry, and I'm going to add the papers back. I also really like to use that royal blue. I feel like that's not a color that really crops up in a ton of scrapbook pages that vibrantly. And that's the color of the light you can kind of see on the photo. So I really like to include that. So I'm going to pop up on some foam these background pieces, and then I'm going to do a few different layers. I'm going to put the photo up on foam as well, just so that I can tuck in the feathers in different layers and give a lot of dimension to the page. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. And make sure you check out the description down below. I'm going to link Kira's channel in case you don't already follow her. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. She is making her channel is coming back, so there's going to be a lot of cool content soon. So you probably already follow her though, because she has a ton of followers. But there is the final conjunction of the photo cluster, and that those die cut feathers are from a Jane Davenport die that I have that I love. And so that was another thing, like I always love to use that, but I don't feel like I have a ton of opportunity to use those feather dies. And so that was another reason that I decided to use my leaf dies and turn them into feathers and do a bunch of different colors as inspired by this paper pad. I don't know about you guys, but I have a ton of paper pads, 6x6 paper pads. I have like 2 baskets like that sit on a shelf, and they're both pretty much full of 6x6 paper pads, some 6x8, but and I'm not trying to use them up because obviously I don't use a ton here. I just use some backing papers really, but they were the inspiration for the page. And I love to do mixed media, and so I like to do that, get a little bit of inspiration from a small bit of paper or sticker sheet or something like that, and then go from there with the background and whatnot. So I'm just layering up these feathers. I like to combine the leaf stamps with the actual feather stamps from Momenta, because those have more white in them and the leaf stamps are kind of more solid, and so I like the contrast that those give. So I'm gonna start putting my title down, and I did pop up the word hot on some foam tape as well. Yeah, I love how that looks. We have been wanting a hot tub for a really long time, and we have been preparing for a hot tub for a really long time because we got some driveway poured, and so we poured an extra pad for it, and then we waited. So we were just waiting for the perfect time to buy one, and then we had to wait for it to arrive after we finally saved up enough money to buy it. And so to be honest with you, I use it almost every day. I am loving that thing, so it was definitely worth it. So there I stuck one of the feathers underneath the foam, and then I stuck another one on top. So that's just an example of how the dimension works when you use the foam and use it to layer your die cut pieces. I'm loving how that looks. And then I'm gonna go on either side and just slice off really messily some of the white cardstock, and I'm gonna add a piece of black to the background. And it's not a super sturdy piece of cardstock. I did not add gesso because I only added those few splatters and they didn't require much water, so it didn't need gesso, but it isn't super sturdy cardstock, so I'm adding that black cardstock will give it some additional sturdiness. But I'm also going to slice off a little bitty bit on both edges to kind of let the black pop and add to, you know, that black around the title and the black dots or splatters, just to kind of give it like that third element to bring cohesion. And there I'm trying to make one of those little floats work. It's not gonna happen, y'all. But you know what? I love to make little charms for the sides of my scrapbooks, especially my mini albums, like my Life Crafted albums. So I'm definitely gonna probably put one of those on my beach trip charm from this past year. So there I'm working on the sides, and I don't cut off all the way up, and then I do use my little roughing tool to rough it up on the edges as well. And I just set it directly onto the black paper because it's 12 by 12 as well, so it peeks around the edges nicely. So please let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. I'd love for you to comment as well. And if you don't already subscribe to me, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. You can find me on Instagram at Delightfully Crafty. And I'll also post my affiliate links for all my design teams down below. If you would like to buy anything, most of my stuff comes from a Cherry on Top craft store. And yeah, I love all that texture too. It's so fun. And I'm going to add that little, that's from Amy Tangerine. I'm going to add that little pair of sunglasses, even though it's nighttime. And a few other things. Okay, so I found that little heart that matched really perfectly on that Simple Stories. It's like a summertime sheet and a little tag that says enjoy. And then I find a couple of little chipboard pieces on this Vicky Bouton sheet that will just kind of go around the photo, as well as add to my journaling. And then that puffy sticker is from Pink Fresh Studio. So I got a T-square ruler for Christmas, just like Missy. So I've been using it and loving it. So I'm just making a few journaling lines, and I make just a few as I go because I don't know really how much I need, and I don't want additional journaling lines that I don't need to write on. So I split up my journaling between the top and the bottom, but that's about it. And I'll add the date off camera, and I thank you guys for watching. Make sure you pop over and watch Kira's video and like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Bye, y'all.